Hello there, Cut and Sew Tribe. You're welcome to Cut and Sew Tribe YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by. For those who are just joining us for the first time, I welcome you specially. You are special, you are welcome. So if I have not subscribed, kindly subscribe to this channel for wonderful tutorial. So today we're going to recreate this jumpsuit, this beautiful jumpsuit. And trust me, I'm going to show you everything in detail from the cutting to the sewing. So if this looks like what you want to learn, let's get into it in detail. These are the required materials. I have here with me my drafting tools. Okay, and this is the fabric we're going to use to create this magic. It is 4 yards of floral crepe. 4 yards should be okay for you if you want it full the way it is on me. So you are going to need zipper and your pattern paper. So from on my pattern paper now, I've drafted from my shoulder to the hip line. So I have on my pattern all the vertical lines, my bust line, my bust points is the second line, the third line is my waistline, and that line, the last one there, is my hip line. So I left 5 inches at the center front for our crotch extension. So when the time comes, you're going to see what we are going to do with it. So now I have gone ahead to divide all my circumferences. My bust into 4 gave me 9 inches, and that is what I've measured there. My waist into 4 gave me 7.5 plus 1 inch for my dart intake, and that gave me 8.5, and that is what I've measured there. Now my hip line, for my hip circumference, hip divided by 4, my hip is 36. 36 divided by 4 gave me 9 inches. So those are the things I've done on this paper, and we're going to proceed from there. So now the next thing we're going to do now is to determine our crotch depth. Now to get your crotch depth, this is it. You are going to divide whatever your hip is, divide it into 4. Like I said, my whole hip is 36. 36 into 4 gave me 9 inches. So that 9 inches, because this jumpsuit is it has a very low crotch. So that's 9 inches. I will be adding 5 inches extra, at least 5 inches, because the crotch really drops. Do you get it now? So if I add 5 inches to 9 inches, that's going to give me 14 inches. So that 14 inches, I will be measuring it from my waistline. Do you get it now? Whatever your hip measurement is, divide it by 4. Whatever you get, add at least 5 inches. If you are a small size like me, 5 inches is okay. If you are a plus size, like your hip is like hip 40 and above, you can add 6 inches. But I added 5 inches to my own, and that gave me 14 inches. So that 14 inches is what I measured from my waistline, and I'm going to draw the straight line across just like I am doing now. So we have got our crotch depth like that. So on that crotch line now, you are going to bring down whatever your hip divided by 4 is. My hip divided by 4 is 9. So I've measured that 9, and I'll connect it back to my hip line like so. I hope you are following up to this point. So now that's 9 inches. You're just going to extend it all the way from the crotch to the full length of your jumpsuit. So can you see the way I am just extending the line? So my full length is 60, but because I really want it to flow, I added 2 inches to it, and that makes the length of this jumpsuit 62. So that 2 inches is optional. It depends on how flow you want it to be on you. So we have this now. We can now proceed and draw our crotch extension line. So to get your crotch extension, whatever your thigh circumference is, you are going to measure it on that crotch line. Can you see it? Like my crotch, my thigh circumference is 24, and that 24 is what I have measured. 24, you are going to divide it by 2. Whatever your thigh is, you are going to divide it by 2, and you are going to mark. That's what I have marked. So from that point now, you are going to use your cuff to connect it back to the hip, just like I am doing now. Can you see it? So like this, I brought out our crotch extension. So that line is going to double as our thigh line and crotch extension. So that crotch extension, that shape there, I'm going to connect it straight to the hem of my trouser with my long ruler. So can you see the way I am placing my ruler? So you want to place your ruler like this and connect it to your crotch like I have just done. So now this our pattern is taking shape gradually. So the next thing I would love to do on this pattern now is to insert our bust dart. The reason why we are putting this bust dart, you're going to know as time goes on, this is going to help us to slash and spread this pattern. So this is what we have. I used 2 inches for the bust dart, and our pattern is ready. So I can say the front pattern is ready now. Now to save our pattern paper, I'm going to draft the back block on this same pattern, and that is what I'm doing now. For the neck depth of the uh, back, I use 1.5. The neck depth for the front, I use 2.5. 2.5 by 3 inches for the front neckline, and for the back neckline I use 1.5 by 3 inches. Do you get it now? I'm so sorry guys, that pencil is not showing very well, so but I hope you can get it with my explanation. So the next thing I'm doing now is to get, there's going to be zipper at the back, so you are going to add your zipper allowance. So I use just 1 inch for my zipper allowance, and that is what I want to draw. So you are going to draw your zipper allowance from the neckline all the way to the hip line, just like I have done. Yes, I hope you can see this one better. This one actually showed very well. So that is going to be my zipper allowance. Now, so all the points we have, our pencil is going to be for our back, so don't forget. Now I need to extend the crotch of the back, so I have extended it by 2. From that point, I've extended my, this is a very loose uh trouser. The down part is very loose, so I extended it by 2 inches, and I'm trying to connect it, can you see it, with my curve. So you connect it back to the hip, just like the way I have done, and our pattern is taking shape. So the uh back crotch as well, you are going to extend it with your long ruler to the hem. So can you see it? You are going to connect it to the hem from the crotch. So go ahead and connect it like so. Let me bring it closer to the camera so that you can see what I am doing. So I'll go ahead now and connect it. I hope you can see the shape. So this is what you should have for the back. So we have drafted both the front block and the back block together. So the part with pencil is going to be for the back block, and that is going to be the first we are going to cut out. By the time I want to cut out this now on the pattern, I will be cutting out the back block first. Do you get it now? Okay, now the next thing I'll be doing now that I started doing is I want to extend my dart line. My dart line, I'll be extending it all the way to the hem. So you need to do this because we are going to need it for the fullness on this block. To add fullness to this block, we are going to slash and spread our pattern, and that is why you need to draw that line. Can you see it? That line, we are going to connect it all the way to the hem, and boom, this pattern is ready. So you need to be very careful now. You need to be very careful so that you'll be able to differentiate. That's why I used two colors. Can you see it? So on this pattern now, the first thing I want to do now is I'm going to cut out the back. The reason is that the back is bigger than the front. But before then, I will need to trace out the neck band. So, and that is what I am doing now. So I'm going to trace out the neck, the back neck. So from the back neck, you're going to trace out, I'm using 1.5 for the width of the band. So I am using the back neck now. You know we have two neck lines there. So the first one I'm tracing out now is the back neckline. So I am using the shape of the back to trace out 1.5. I'm going to make it more visible for us to see. You may not see it, but I'm seeing it clearly here. So go ahead now and trace out your neckline with your curve. So this is what you're going to use for the band on the neckline at the back of your jumpsuit. So I want to trace it out. By the time I remove the paper, you are going to see it more visibly. So can you see it? So just go ahead and trace it out. 1.5 inches is okay for the width of that band. So can you see it? I'm tracing out the original neck for the back. So can you see it? This is what you should have. You know, I trace it up to the zipper allowance. You need to do so that you not have a shortage of fabric by the time you are transferring to the fabric. So this is what we have. I'll go ahead now and do the same thing for the front. It is important to do so. So that is back band. We'll proceed and do that of the front. So I'm going to trace it out using my front circumference, my front neckline. Now you are going to use your front neckline. So can you see it? That is my front neckline that I'm drawing out. So this is where it started from. Can you see it? I'll go ahead and measure 1.5 round it. So I think you can see this one better now. This is the same way I did for the back. Can you see it's 1.5? So that 1.5 is what you're going to rotate across because it must rhyme. Everything must be equal. Can you see the way I'm going about this now? This is more visible, I guess. So after doing this now, you can just blend it together with your French curve so that the line can be more visible. So can you see it? So this is going to be for the front band. So, and you know, the front, we're going to cut it on fold. So by the time we want to transfer it on fabric, I'll explain better. So we have the band for the front and we have that of the back. So for the back band, we are going to cut two pieces, you know, because of the zipper allowance. Now I haven't done this now. I can now go ahead and cut out my back block. Do you get it now? So but before then we need to do our alteration. The alter neck, we need to alter the neckline. So I don't want my neckline to be revealing, so I'll just connect it from the mid armhole to the neck tip, just the way I am doing. Do you get it? So like this, you'll be sure that it will not be too revealing. But if you really want it to be revealing, you can take it all the way to the chest line, but I don't want mine to be revealing. So this part is going out. I'll cut it out of this for both the front and the back. Do you get it now? So like I said, we'll be tracing out the back block first. Why? Because the back is bigger than the front, so it is compulsory, if you are drafting it together like this, that you cut out the back first. Do you get it now? So I am cutting my back neckline, and I'm going to cut the altered neck. Do you get it now? So I am cutting the zipper area. Just go ahead and cut the zipper area like so. And can you see the crotch? So please don't make the mistake. Can you see the way I am cutting it? This is for the back. All right, so I cut out the back neckline, and we still need to add fullness to our neckline. Thank God we have it for both the front and the back. So the fullness, we are going to add it to both the front neckline and the back neckline. So to achieve this now, this is what we're going to do. It's very simple. We're going to apply our slash and spread method. So can you see it? So you're going to draw your line like that. Just draw your line from the neckline and you connect it to the bust point. Now assuming this is front, for the front, this is where you are going to stop. But like I said, we are doing for the back, so you are going to extend it. You are going to extend it to the back neckline. So this is for the front. This is for the front. Now let us do that of the back, because I am going to cut the back first. So I will need to extend it. I will need to extend that line to the back neckline. So by the time we want to cut for the front neckline, the first one I drew, that is where you are going to stop. Do you get it now? So I will go ahead and connect it to the back neckline as seen. So that is this part. Now we'll cut it out by the time we want to transfer it for our front block. So I'll go ahead now and slash the lines. I'm going to slash it and make sure it touches the bust point. So cut it through to the bust point, and after cutting it through to the bust point, you are going to close your bust dart. The reason why we put the bust dart is for this purpose, so that we'll be able to spread. Can you see it? If you close your bust dart, the neckline will open up. Can you see it? So I'll close down the bust dart like so. I'll just go ahead and close it down like so that I can spread the neckline. Okay, now the wider the spread, the fuller the neckline is going to be. But I don't really want it that much. If you look at that picture very well, the fullness there is not that much. So I'll be spreading the two lines. I drew out two lines. I cut out two lines. So the two lines, I'll be spreading it just by 2 inches on both. So that means I've added like about 4 inches extra on that neckline. I hope you are getting the gist. So spread like so, and you have to fill it up with another pattern paper just like I have done, so that you have it together as a complete pattern. Like that is going to be convenient for you to transfer it on your fabric. Do you get it now? That's just the essence of that paper I am putting under, so that I'll be able to carry my pattern. So I'm checking to be sure I have what I needed. So I want to make it stay together. Can you see it? So I'll go ahead and trim out that part. I don't need it. We don't need it there. So just go ahead and trim it and make the neckline rhyme. So can you see it? And by the time we gather it together, it's going to give us that beautiful effect we have on the neckline. So the next thing we're going to do now to achieve perfect palazzo, the one we're working on, is we're going to slash the line, the dart line. But I think I should spread my clothes so that my fabric, so that it will be convenient for me to carry. So I have my fabric like so. Can you see it? I folded it. Can you see it? So I folded my fabric like so. So I folded it into two, and I'm trying to pin it down. I'm trying to pin it down like so before I slash my pattern. If you look at the way I folded the fabric, I folded it lengthwise. Do you get it now? It's by 60. So and my jumpsuit length is 62, so the length cannot be enough for me. So that's why I just folded it like this. I hope you get the gist. Slash the line up to the apex, to the bust point. You need to make sure you slash it up to the bust point, and you can now go ahead and spread like I am doing. This jumpsuit is really big. Can you see it? Let me bring it closer a bit. I really want you to see it. So can you see it? I'm going to exhaust the fabric the way I folded it. So this is what I want. I really want it to be dramatic like that, because that's really the beauty of this jumpsuit. So spread it out. The wider the spread, the fuller the hem of your jumpsuits. Can you see it? So I'm trying to secure that place, my bust dart. I want to secure it down so that it will not fall apart. And the neckline area, I'm still going to use this pattern to cut the front. This is the back we are working on. So I'll just go ahead and cut out my pattern, my fabric. I am not adding any seam allowance because all the dramas on this pattern is enough. I have added enough allowances. So I'll just go ahead and cut it out. I hope you are enjoying this tutorial. If you do, kindly give us thumbs up. Yes, feel free to ask your question. Feel free to share with fellow Soul Tribe. And if you have not subscribed, kindly do so. So I'll just go ahead and cut it out like this. Can you see it? I'm cutting everything out. Okay. And this is what you should have. I am falling in love even though I'm not done with it. So can you see it? Now to cut the back, the front rather, we need to take out the zipper allowance, the neckline for the back, and the crotch extension for the back. Do you get it now? So those are the things we're going to take away from this pattern. I'm going to alter the neckline. The front neckline is deeper than that of the back. So the line of the neckline is still on the pattern, so you just trace it out. You're going to cut it. Do you get it now? And I'm going to remove the zipper allowance. I'm going to remove the crotch extension for the back. So basically if you use two colors like my own, you will see it. So I will just cut out all the parts that I used pencil. So I am cutting out my zipper. You don't need it on the front. So I have decided to show you this part very well so that once you understand the pattern, to sewing, the sewing part is not that difficult. So I'll cut out the, can you see it? That's for the back. You don't need it again. So you cut it out. And this other one that we drew to the hem. So just cut it out and you have the remaining part for the front pattern. So I'll carefully carry it away now. Okay, I've not cut out the neckline. Can you see it? Just cut out the neckline. So the beauty of this pattern, especially on the neckline, is that both the front and the back neckline has fullness. They have that gathers. Do you get it now? So that is why we are able to do it like this. So I want to secure it so that it will be easy for me to carry. Okay, so I'm going to fold my fabric again. I'm going to lay it on the table and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the way it goes. So this is it, just the way I folded the fabric for the back. So I've done the same thing. Can you see it? So you spread it. I'm going to consume all the width of the fabric. So I'll just go ahead and just cut out. I am not adding any allowance again because of all the dramas on this. Can you see it? Just go ahead and cut. So this is what we have. Okay, now there's another important thing we need to do on both the front neckline and the back neckline. I'm going to show you when the time comes. You know, we drafted the neck band. So, and we're going to attach the neck band to the neck, but I will need to remove it from the whole fabric. So by the time I gather my fabric for the neck area, you know, this is what you should have. It should come back to the original neck width. So do you get it now? The same thing for the back. By the time I gather it, this is the width. So I think I have about 6 inches on the neck width. You know, it's unfold. By the time I open up 6 inches, that's going to give me 12 inches. I hope you get it. So I'm still going to show you anyway. So I'm going to pack my pattern aside now, and we're going to cut out the neck band. So I will need to cut it out, the front and the back. So this is the back, so I'll cut it out. You know, we're cutting 2 pieces of this. So for the front, I'll go ahead and cut it out. Now you need to be very careful. You must know the center neckline and you must know the shoulder area. You must know it so that you don't place them wrongly. So that's why I marked it. I have it where it's going to be the center neck. So you should do the same thing on your band. So this is for the front. By the time I want to cut it, it's going to be on fold. So let's go ahead now and transfer it to fabric. So I'm going to cut out the neck band. So this is for the front. You need to get the placement. Can you see the way I'm placing it? So you don't want to turn the shoulder to the center front. So can you see it? And just go ahead and add ½ inch all through. So can you see it? Half inch all through. So this is going to, I'm going to cut two of these because I'm going to use the second one for the lining. So I've cut the two pieces for the front. Don't forget the front is going to be on fold. So for the back, go ahead and cut separately. So I will have 4 pieces for the back neck band, 4 pieces. Two is going to serve as the main fabric and two is going to serve as the lining. So can you see the placement? It's very important to get the placement. Don't go and use the shoulder area for the center. Do you get it now? So the next thing we're going to do now is this. I said we're still going to remove the band. We're going to remove it from the neckline. The reason why I did not cut it out from the uh pattern is because I am using the pattern for both the front and the back. So this is the way I am going to do it now. So this neck band, you need to remove it because you are still going to attach it separately. So you need to remove it. So for you to be able to remove it, you are going to gather your neckline to what you want it to be originally. Do you get it now? So I'll just take it to the sewing machine. I'm going to run loose stitch so that I'll be able to gather it to the way I want the neckline to be, and I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to trace it out from it. Do you get it now? So this is it. I've run the loose stitch, and I'll go ahead now and draw the gathers just the way I'm doing. Just try and pull it, go ahead and pull it to the actual neckline. So just draw it. I'm going to do it for the 4 pieces, for the 4 of them. So this is what I will do. I'll just go ahead and do that. So I've done this one now, and I'll show you how to cut out. So you need to be careful. This is for the back. I know because I can see my zipper allowance. So I'll go ahead and cut out this band. It is not supposed to be on the fabric. Do you get it now? So make sure you set it properly. It's very important. Can you see it? And I'll just cut it out. Just go ahead and cut it out. So this is what you have. So that means I'm still going to run the gathers again now, and that is going to form the real gathers. So you go ahead and do everything. Just go ahead and do everything, and you cut it out. I said you're going to cut all the 4 pieces. So I've taken them to the sewing machine back, and this is what we have. So I'm still gathering it to what I want to have there. So can you see it? I'm just trying to cross check, and I think I have what I'm looking for. So I'll take these 2 pieces for the front. I'm going to take the 2 pieces for the front. I will go and join it all the way to the hem, from the neckline to the hem. After gathering the neckline, do you get it now? So after gathering it now, can you see it? So you make sure you have it the same. You can just cross check it again. So this is what we have, and this is the next thing you're going to do. Right side facing each other like so. This is for the front. So I'll just take it to the sewing machine. So I'll go and sew it from the neckline to the crotch. So I'll sew from the neckline here, and I will stop as soon as I get to the crotch. Can you see it? I'll stop there. I'm going to use ½ inch to join it together. And for the neck band, So for the two of them now, I will take it right side facing right side like so. Can you see it? And I'm going to turn the neckline. So I'm going to sew it down on 1/2 inch, the neckline. I will iron it and I'll come and show you the next thing to do. So I've gathered the neckline, I've joined it together. Can you see it? So, and this is the neck band for the front. So I went ahead to fold in 1/2 inch on the part that will go to the front. So, and I left that 1/2 inch on the part that will be at the back. I hope you get it, just to achieve neat finishing. So I folded in 1/2 inch. You are going to see the way it will work out now. So I'm going to place my neckline like this. So you know it is an outer neckline. So the space you remove there for your outer neck, you are going to leave it. So, and you're going to set it. I think my hole, it is just 2 inches. You know, I said I don't want it too revealing. So the wider that part, the more revealing your shoulder is going to be. So I don't want mine to be too revealing. So I'll just go ahead now. I've notched the center of my band, and you know the part that I sewed down is going to be the center of the jumpsuit. So can you see the way I'm placing it? So that part now, I'm going to sew it down just like I am doing on 1/2 inch. So I'll sew it down to both sides. So for the back piece as well, the same thing you're going to do, but this time, you know, we're going to do it separately. I've done that of the back, I've done the neckline. So that part that I have, the 1/2 inch I have, can you see it? So that 1/2 inch that I did not fold on the neckline, that is what you are going to use to, that's what you are going to join to the neck. Do you get it now? So the space, you make sure your space rhymes. The same space you leave on the front neckline is what you should leave. I made the outer part. So can you see it now? I'll go and sew it down on both sides, and I'll come and show you how to finish the neckline up. So I've sewn it down. Can you see it? I've sewn it down. Just the part that will go to the back is what I've sewn down. So that part that I folded in is what I'm going to use to finish up this neckline. It's very important you do it like this to achieve neat finishing. Can you see it? You just use it to cover it up. Because I folded it down already, it's going to make it very easy for me. So I'll just go ahead and finish it up. Just use it to cover it. So when you are sewing it, make sure the down part does not remove. Do you get it now? So the same thing you are going to do for the back. So I've done that. Can you see it? This is what you should have. This is how neat your neckline should be. Okay, I'll go and do that of the front, and we'll come and join the shoulder. So I forgot to tell you that you need to finish up your armhole before attaching the band. Please do so, so that it will be very convenient. Though I have not done mine, but I'm going to do that. So you need to finish up your armhole before attaching the band. So this is what we have now. For the back, I've done the 2 pieces for the back. I've closed it. So I'll go and finish it up. So from the crotch, the zipper allowance, around the hip, I'll just sew it down and close it to the crotch. I hope you get it. So from that point, I'll sew it down. I'm going to leave this part opened because that is where our zipper will enter. So let me go and do those things now, and we'll come and finish this up. So I've done all those things. So this is for the back. Yes, this is my back. Okay, this is for the front. Can you see what we have? The neckline is set, and for the back, I've left the zipper allowance. So it's now left for me to go and fix my zipper using my zipper allowance. So I'm going to fix the zipper. After fixing the zipper, I will join my shoulders. So I'm going to join the two shoulders. Can you see it? So make sure they both align and you join it. So after joining it, I'll come and show you the next thing to do. So I've joined my shoulder. This is what we have. So like I said, I've forgotten to sew down my armhole. So you need to go and do that. I'll finish up my armhole. It is always better you finish the armhole before attaching the band. So okay, now when I finish up the armhole, I will turn it the way I'm doing, right side for both the front and back, now facing right side. Can you see it? And I'll just shape out this from the side. There is no seam allowance as such. I'll just sew it down like that all the way to the hem, and I'll do the same thing for the other side. So you don't really need any measurements here because it's a very loose outfit. So I just sew it down probably by half or at most 1 inch. So I'll just sew it down from the armhole to the hem. So let me go and do that, and I'll come and show you how to finish up the crotch area. So I finished the two side. Can you see it? So this is what we have. I finished the armhole area too. So we are now left with the crotch area. So it's very simple. You just turn it inside again. Can you see the way I'm turning it in? So you can go ahead and pin it down. Make sure your line, that crotch line, make sure they both align, and from that place you sew it down, and the other side as well you sew it down. So like I said, you can use half inch just to sew it down, and our trouser is ready. So after sewing it down, I'll go ahead and hem the hem of this palazzo, and boom, it is ready. So I'm going to weave the inside. Make sure you weave everything so that your work can be neat. So we've come to the end of this tutorial.